A planet teeming with advanced life rotates in the vast and boundless cosmos. The planet's sole advanced life form refers to itself as humans. Awakening from primitive times, evolving over countless millions of years, and passing through 3 consecutive mythological eras, worship of gods, demise of gods, and creation of gods, humans entered a new era. They abandoned the primitive and mysterious myths, grasping the weapon of science. They severed the instinctual power clinging to them, stepping into a new age of enlightenment. Since the beginning of the new era, tools have been humanity's indispensable instruments for survival. The 7 great oceans cover over 90% of the planet's surface, yet the vast landmasses, spanning billions of square kilometers, still provide enough sustenance for over 100 billion people. This is the gift of the land bestowed upon us. Famed geographer Gake. However, since the outbreak of the First World War in the year 1434 of the new era, this statement became a laughingstock among politicians. Still enough? If it's enough, why do we keep fighting? Deserts, occupying 1/5 of the world's total land area, have triggered a series of food crises. The First, Second, Third, the 7th World War ended a century ago, and at that moment, the desert area expanded once more, reaching 30%. The planet was divided into 2 parts by the vast Xianxia Ocean and the Xianxia Ocean, north to south, east and west. Mountains and rivers crisscrossed the land, dividing these 2 continents into numerous smaller regions, known as the 9 continents of heaven, with 5 in the east and 4 in the west. Despite the slight numerical difference, the difference in land area is nearly 1/3. Since ancient times, Westerners have coveted the rich lands of the East, and this has not changed to this day. The 7th World War a century ago elevated the Jialuo nation to the position of a world hegemon, but the increasing power of the Yanghuang ancient nation, the Eastern and Western Rober Alliance, and small united nations in other parts of the world refused to bow down. Thanks to the development of nuclear weapons, the ultimate weapon capable of turning the planet inside out, the world entered a period of relative stability and peace. Don't doubt it, the war on the Long Chain Peninsula was just a farce among politicians, really. Prominent politician Prudy. In the eastern 5 continents, with the central Tianju being the largest in size, the ancient Yanghuang nation is located there. Next to it, the Dosak Federation spans the central Qian and eastern Rober continents, bordering the barren Arctic continent. Black Sky Continent and East Polar Continent are separated by the Fanxian Ocean and the Qianxia Ocean from the mainland plate, with small nations forming alliances. In the west, after separating from the eastern Rober continent in the ancient mythological era and before the start of the new era, the West Rober continent was the most prosperous place for science in the world. Until the past few centuries when it was gradually replaced by the Jialuo nation on the Jialuo continent to its east. South of the Jialuo continent lies the most backward Suya ancient continent, while on the Qiancheng continent in the Qianyang Ocean, separated by the east-west divide line, it also falls within the Western Territory. The term 9 continents of heaven was officially coined in the 15th year of the new era and has been used for over 2,000 years. Consequently, the planet inhabited by humans is known as the heavenly sphere. It seems that this planet has never been short of wars, starting from the primitive era. People have been fighting relentlessly, without a moment's respite, up to the present day. As the world's annual cycle crossed the central boundary of the 21st new era, stumbling along until July of 2051, 2 major nations separated by an immense ocean waged war for the same cause once again. When hundreds of thousands of soldiers from both sides set foot on that tiny piece of land, bravely fighting for the politicians' interests, when families in both countries agonized for their loved ones on the battlefield, when politicians engaged in eloquent rhetoric at the negotiation table, sparks flying in all directions, when onlookers, detached from the conflict, watched the spectacle with amusement, Countless eyes stared coldly at them in disdain. The last time this happened was 25 years ago, on September 1, 2026, when a war broke out on the Long Chain Peninsula, initially called the Second Long Chain War and later renamed the Eastern Regional War. The Jialuo people on the other side of the ocean, along with over 10 Eastern countries, had a great time cleansing themselves in a public bath, contributing to global population control. 5 million lives gone just like that. What about this time? No one knows, and no one wants to know. Everyone knows that, except for the parties involved, every other country is waving the banner of peace internationally, shouting, "Long live peace, war is a crime." It seems like this time might be better. Kind-hearted people pray to the heavens in this way. Of course, there are those who hope for a longer war, more casualties, and more expensive weapons. These are the trash among humanity, the arms dealers. When they die, no one will mourn. So, when 23 arms giants from the Jialuo continent across the ocean suddenly died one after another, and their enormous assets disappeared into thin air, later investigation revealed that they had gone to the World Peace Foundation, the reputation of the Central Heaven Empire, this peculiar terrorist organization, skyrocketed. Is this still a terrorist organization? People had a new understanding of the criteria for judging the world police. The fame of Yangwang Kung Fu spread far and wide, and foreigners who learned the Yangwang language often mastered the word Kung Fu first. During the war, international martial arts competitions continued to be held in the capital of Yangwang, where tens of thousands of spectators welcomed their victories with cheers. In a certain area of the Eastern Sea, thousands of Eastern individuals who seemed to be beyond the ordinary slowly dispersed in an unimaginable manner, traversing the waves, soaring through the sky. The sound of their faint breaths created white streaks on the calm sea surface, one after another. In just a short while, only one young man remained in the Central Sea area. He asked someone nearby with caution, "So, am I the first?" In the distance, there were also some people scattered around, holding their breath, gazing at the departure of these more than 2,000 people. When the crowd had completely dispersed, they exhaled and left as well, either walking on water or flying in the air. Their departure method seemed no less impressive than that of the earlier group, but their skin color and eyes were entirely different from the previous group. Continuing the legends of myths and heroes, the power of mythical heroes is reflected in the so-called democracy with dictatorial elements. Filled with mystery, pursuing the bizarre concepts of immortality and eternal life, but paradoxically possessing the most disdainful sorceress power that belittles life. Valuing hierarchy and restraining sentient beings with an insurmountable caste bloodline to control power. Existing since ancient times, it most significantly impacted the progress of human civilization, yet its destructive power is enormous, leading to the taboo technological power. The only civilization in the world that is fully integrated with its own culture, living and dying together, struggling in progress and regression, the Yangwang evolutionary power. Whether it still exists is uncertain, but the power of the lost civilization that continually stimulates people's attention. Power. The old man wrote down the word power with a large silver-haired brush, the strokes going through the paper, penetrating deeply into the wood. However, the previous paragraphs could only flow through his mind. The young man used his internal energy to dry the ink and picked up the paper to admire it. The old man watched the youthful and handsome face of the young man, unsure whether he felt pride or sighs in his heart. He couldn't even express it himself. The young man, oblivious to all this, adjusted his golden-framed glasses and wore a carefree smile of youth. At this moment, the phone in the room rang. The young man answered it and then ran back out, saying, "Grandpa called me." "Grandpa, I'll be right back." Under the shade of the grapevine, the old man, who was splattering ink on paper moments ago, nodded, wearing a strange smile on his face. Langwang, the 18th floor of the Su Clan Group headquarters. Sweetie, have you confirmed the list of exchange students from the Northern Attached School for this exchange? Yes, Father. Are you sure you called me, the student council president, here just to confirm this list? The president of the Su Clan Group raised his head, and on his mature and handsome face that could make a little girl scream, there was an obvious conspiratorial smile. No, I just wanted to confirm one person on the list, just one. Ah, that Zhong Zhenyu, is he here? He's here, but who is he? The curious light in the eyes of the tall and elegant young girl flashed for an instant, though it quickly disappeared. The purpose was achieved, and he snapped his fingers in his heart. Got it.